Okay, so we have Nicholas here from all the way from Provence, France.
You're all the way from Hong Kong because we're in the south of France.
Yes, I'm all the way from Hong Kong. I was asking Nicholas about the importance of bees. And so can you tell us more about it?
So to answer this, you need to understand just in an ecosystem and how important a lot of different things are within that ecosystem. If you think of a plant, so it's a little bit, I like this example. If you think as your body as a one-person thing, so you think of you, inside of our body, we actually are not just one person. We have a microbiome, billions of different bacteria and mushrooms, and you have this on your skin. So there's a lot of living things inside of you. If you get rid of this, what happens?
So you get sick.
You die.
Yeah.
If you get rid of your whole microbiome, your whole you do not work.
Okay.
And so when you think, and if you think of yourself as just one thing, it's not true. You have to take care of the gut that you have, which is living things inside of you.
Yes.
It's the same with plants. There's a lot of different things working and interacting together. And I was telling you about mycelium and mushrooms that, they work in symbiosis. So they work with the plants, they attach to the roots, they can go deeper and give humidity and water to the roots and the plant. They can break rocks and minerals and bring those minerals to the plant.
Wow.
And in return, the plant gets the sunlight. It can produce sugar from this. It gives sugar to the mycelium. So they share, they work together. Just like you provide food, the gut actually digests in certain ways.
Right.
And so it's you're not noticing it, but there's like a symbiosis. You work together.
Yeah.
When we talk about bees, it's the same idea. What does the bee get and what does the plant get? The bee normally gets two things, nectar and pollen. You can find more actually things because bees use kind of a protective layers on trees, which has very protective for the beehive. But so there's a lot of things bee collect from plants.
Wait, where does the nectar comes from? I know the pollen comes
the plant
from
makes nectar. The plant makes sugary water.
Okay.
That's nectar.
Oh, okay.
So nectar is what the bees eat and what they actually make honey out of to feed the babies.
Oh, I thought it's pollen. And how about
pollen as well? It's two different things, but it's pollen and nectar.
Oh, okay.
And nectar being one of the main things. Like if you look at hummingbirds, hummingbirds, it's nectar. They drink the nectar. And so those flowers, they make nectar. The lavender flowers make nectar and pollen.
Oh, okay.
And so both of those things are very important, but the pollen is not as important. It's used, but not as important, I would say. It's also kind of what the plant is getting.
Okay.
When a bee comes, it feeds on the nectar and it gets pollen. And then it goes to another plant to feed on the nectar and it brings the pollen. So the plant gets to actually have babies and the bees get nectar to feed and grow.
Yes.
Often when we think of bees, we think of honeybees, right? Where we make honeys and those are one variety of bee, like Lavandula angustifolia. But there's thousands of varieties of bees. You saw yesterday the tiny little one. There's the bumblebee. There's big black ones that most of those bees, we call them just wild bees or wild pollinators.
Okay.
And they're more important than the honeybees.
Okay.
The honeybees are, we're cultivating honeybees. So
because we want the honey from them.
Exactly. So we take care of them and we think, the bees, and if you say bees to people, they think honeybees.
Yeah.
But it's one bee. And it's not a bee that's it's a bee that's good at something, but not good at everything. If you took a wild, like this little bee, it could be way better at pollinating a lot of plants than the honeybee. So first of all, we need to take into consideration everything. Honeybees are great. We get honey. Honey is very good. They're still pollinating. They're good. but we can't focus just on them. And if you focus just on them, you're going to basically destroy the 1,000 of other varieties of bees that do not provide something to you, but they're very important. If you look at tomatoes, zucchini, eggplants, a lot of the vegetables we eat, honeybees cannot pollinate them. A tomato, if you look at if you look at a tomato plant, you're gonna see bees comes like bumblebees, you know, the one that are fluffy. They're gonna attach themselves to the flower. They're gonna crawl back and they're gonna go bzzz, and they're gonna shake and vibrate that flower at a very specific vibration, which is gonna make the pollen fall. A honeybee cannot do this. So a bumblebee and other wild bees are the only ones that can pollinate tomatoes. They can pollinate zucchini, but they are the ones. And so if we want food and we want pollination, we need wild bees. So Gary used to say, just watch the bees because, for example, to know if a lavender field is in full bloom, you can just, without looking, you can just listen. And if you hear like a helicopter, because you have the entire field, it means all of the flowers are open. It's the biggest you can have, all the nectars there and everything. Just by listening, you can, you know that this is a time where the field is actually ready or very close to being ready for distillation.
Wow.
Because the bees come at a certain time. Bees, you know, it's
They
a little
know.
bit, they know because this is what, you know, this is their food,
Their
this is their
instinct,
life,
right?
this is what they're doing. So you can observe the bees for many things. And you can also notice, you know, if bees don't come to certain plants, don't come to certain fields. So bees are part of an ecosystem. It's not more, like, once again, it's not more important. The bees are not more important than the mycelium or the plant. But in farming, and this is, I think, a little bit what also Gary meant, is that in farming, if you look at the plant and you think just of that plant, it's like looking at a human and forgetting all of the microbiome, all of the things that we have. And this is what most modern farming have done. You know, when they grow inside, they provide just the exact light and the nutrient for that plant. It's like if I were to put you in a room with just kind of fake natural lights and give you water sugar. Yes, you'd be alive. Yes, you'd be alive. But you would, if you're just giving, you know, like pure water and sugar, you would remain alive, but in terrible health. You would not have any of the essential minerals, you know, everything that we need, the vitamins, all of those things we need, you know, for the brain to work properly, for our eyesight to work properly, for our everything to be proper. We need this diversity. It's the same with a plant. So we have to look not at a plant and say, okay, lavender needs nitrogen to produce green. It needs phosphorus to produce roots. It needs no. Yes, it needs this, but it needs different minerals for its health and its defense. It needs all sorts of things to produce a quality of oil. It needs pollination so that we have seeds that we can grow. It needs mycelium so that it can have minerals brought to its roots. It needs this entire system around the plant to make it what it is today. And so this is the idea of sustainable farming, is looking at everything around and not just one human and not thinking of all of the bacteria, all of the things that are inside.
So you talk about like the vibration when the bees like collect the nectar from, like, say for example, tomato plant. So is there another like important role for a bee on pollination, or like and say for example,
I mean, if you take away bees, you will not have any genetic diversity. So you will not have any pollination, no more seeds, no more evolution.
Oh, because you need different
It's a
different
little
plant,
bit like
right? The pollen
if you,
from different plants.
since the bees are the ones that, you know, make the babies by bringing the pollen,
Yes.
it's a little bit like
yes.
if all humans could not have kids anymore.
Ah.
And so we would disappear after a certain time because we can't have kids. And yes, you can go with a stick and you
Yes,
can do the
yes, yes.
pollination. But imagine having to pollinate all of the plants. And imagine how the diversity would just start restricting. So the bees
I
are
see.
what allows genetic diversity and evolution of plants to continue. They're necessary, and we wouldn't have fruits, we wouldn't have, you know, and so if pollinators, let's not say bees, because there's butterflies can pollinate, exactly,
and insects.
If pollinators were to disappear, everything would go extinct. There would be no more food for any animals. There would be no more living, nothing, like everything would go away. So it is not like we can say they're not, it's essential. It's not more important than the quality of the soil and things, but it's something that is non-negotiable. And so what we do is we don't study just the honeybees. Honeybees are great. They bring us honey. But like I said, we have thousands of varieties of pollinators. We need to make sure that, you know, we think about them and we take care of them. A lot of them just make one hole in the ground and live in that ground, and it's one bee or two bees, you know, the mommy and the daddy and the baby, and they bring nectar and pollen and they have one baby. And they make the hole in the ground. So if you keep breaking your ground, you keep breaking the nest, killing the babies, and you get rid of the pollinators. If you put too much honeybees,
I thought bees only live in hives.
No, so only
only honeybees.
Honeybees that make honey.
Oh, wow.
Most of the bees, they make little holes in wood. Or holes in soil.
I see.
And so they have one baby, the parents take care of the baby, and that's it. And so we don't think about them because they don't provide anything to us. But they do, they pollinate all of those plants that we need to eat.
Yes,
so
of course.
At the end of the day, we need to think about them. And so we need to manage our soil. So, you know, when I said in our fields now we have trees, and we provide around the trees an area that is not touched land.
So you provide homes for the bees as well.
We don't break the homes. We leave that soil untouched inside of our fields so that it is a nest for the wild pollinators. And then we don't put too much hives, honeybee hives, because imagine that there's just so much food. And if I put 100 hives here, there's going to be barely enough food for those hives, but there's going to be no food for the wild pollinators. So we have small amounts of hives in each location so that we can have really good honey, and it's important. But as well, we can leave enough food for all the wild bees. Even though they don't provide honey to us, they're very important to us. And it's about, you know, kind of balance.
And why is it there are different varieties of bees? Why is different variety of bees important? Because pollinators are pollinators. They just this is from our perspective.
Some bees can pollinate this plant and not that plant.
Oh, okay, I see.
Tilia tree, it's a butterfly.
Right.
And the tilia tree is, you can smell the flowers at night because the butterfly is a night. That butterfly is a night butterfly.
I see.
So the tree produces all of the perfume to attract the butterfly at night.
At night.
And it's because this butterfly knows how to pollinate it. And so this is the idea. You have a lot of different bees, but they're all important. And some are good at pollinating tomatoes, bumblebees, or other types of bees. And some, like honeybees, are not good at tomatoes, but they're great at lavender. They're great at, so.
And in the same field, is it important that, why is it important to have different species of bees in the same field?
Diversity, that's a long thing, but diversity, it's the same idea. Why is it important to have seeds?
Okay,
J'arrive de suite.
Okay, 好啦，咁我哋咧多謝，thank you,
Thank you.
Nicholas, for the interview. He has to get our lunch ready, so
I have to feed them.
Yeah, let's continue second part later.